Okay, you lot, welcome to today's video, and today we will be making a factory for the XIRANITE components, which are essentially currently the highest tier item when it comes to crafting legendary gear, right? So we will be making a farm that runs at full efficiency. As you can see, as soon as one of the items finishes being created, the next one starts pretty much immediately, right? And yeah, this is how it looks like just for an overview. And yeah, let's get started. But wait, before that, what do I hear there? A very awkward sound going from the distance.
Hey, did you prepare the document? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up some files. They'll be ready to go soon. Now, if you're anything like me and can't get enough of Endfield factory building, then I have just the right app for you. Stardesk is a remote access program that allows you to easily access your computer from any device you have. Especially if you don't want to waste storage on downloading the game multiple times or you're not able to play the game at all. It offers super low latency and high quality playthroughs compared to other remote access apps, meaning that you can play the game anywhere at any time. It is completely free and super easy to set up. Download the game once and easily play it on all major platforms. Click the link in the description to download Stardesk and try it out for yourself.
Okay, but have them ready by the end of the day.
Yep, you got it, boss.
Target locked. Fire!
Okay, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, but yeah, let's start with the factory itself. So first of all, for the items that you will need, so this will be a two-part blueprint. While in terms of like the actual size, it isn't that large and it is actually able to fit into the very smallest base, right? I currently don't have it because I have it fully upgraded, but I have tested it out and it easily fits into the smallest 40 by 40 base, so you don't even need to have any upgrades or anything like that. Plus, you also don't even need to use any of the depot bridges. You only have to have your HQ, so pretty much as soon as you unlock Valley and you're able to get some energy, you will be able to place this blueprint and it will start working pretty much immediately. So yeah, for this one, do keep in mind that it does use two of these Forge of the Sky. So in order to achieve maximum efficiency, you will need to have this blueprint upgraded, which allows you to get, not blueprint, but like the upgrade or whatever, which will allow you to get two of these Forge of the Skies in order to make more XIRANITE, because this farm uses all available XIRANITE possible, and even if I built an additional grinding or rather gearing unit, it wouldn't increase the efficiency in any way, since there is simply not enough XIRANITE at the moment, right? So yeah, for the farm itself, if anyone is in the Asian server, I'll try to somehow showcase how it looks from here. So this is the top part of the farm. Then we have the middle part of the farm. I believe all of it is going into the image. Yep. And then we have the bottom part where we see the HQ, right? So yeah, that's how it works. I'll explain it in just a second in how to actually get it started. And for the farm itself, it will use 675 power in total, which means that unfortunately you're not able to power it up just with the two inputs. However, if you have a depot access or if you have access to your second base in the Jingyu Valley, right, you can set up a small battery setup and power it up, right? Because you're not able to power it up just with this, but there are other ways to power up, either through there, either through having these and building a small battery farm, or you can even just temporarily bring some batteries from the previous region into this one and manually add them to the thermal banks, right? But yeah, just to explain how this factory works. So first of all, let's overview no, you know what? First, let's actually show you how to place it, because I feel like that is a little bit more important, right? So for the factory itself, in terms of size, it is split into two parts, but I believe size is somewhere around 32 by 36. So even with the smallest space, you will still have some extra space to use, right? So for the right part, I personally place it at the very top, but of course you can place it anywhere you want, right? Just the problem is if you are using this in a base that isn't upgraded in size, to make it a bit easier, take your HQ and push it to the very bottom right corner. I especially made space there so that you can place it there, and you'll have a much easier time placing the HQ, because if you leave it somewhere in the middle, you will eventually hit it when placing the blueprint and it will not allow you to place it at all, right? So yeah, for the right side, as you can see, we place it in the very corner. Of course, you probably won't have these connected, but I'll show you how to do that as well. We place the right side, then we take the left side blueprint and place it right next to it right here. As you can see, you can connect it by the belts or by the pipes at the top. That's probably the easiest way to see it. And yeah, once you do this, as you can see, there will be space left for your HQ, and you can simply move the HQ to the correct place right next to the other buildings, right? So yeah, that's how it works, right? Now, in order to start it up, you will need a tiny bit of manual input. The reason for that is because this will use, first of all, you will need 2 water pumps. So one water pump you connect to here, and the second water pump you connect to here. It only uses 2 pumps because pumps provide water for 2 different buildings, right? It does provide enough water for 2 buildings. So the splitter splits 1 water to the Forge of the Sky and the second water to the planting unit, which will be the same in here. As you can see, planting unit and Forge of the Sky, right? Now, another thing that you need to do in order to get this started is you will need to pick up a little bit of either sandleaf plants or sandleaf seeds. I can show you with seeds, for example, or I can show you with both, actually. So you'll need one of these, and you'll need one of the what's the region called? Wooling plants, right? So you'll either need the Yasen plant or the Jinkao plant, right? So we'll take Jinkao for now. You can take either the plants or the seed, doesn't matter again. And here's where you need to place. So next to the Forge of the Sky, you'll have this one. For the Jinkao seeds, the easy way to see where to place them is just look for the water pipes, because water pipes will be connecting to the planters that need the wooling seeds. So in here, in the planting unit, you can place either the seeds, or in the next building next to it, you can place the plant. So for this one, we can place the seed and it will start producing everything. And in the next one, we can, for example, place the plants in the building right next to it, right? And it will work the same way. Do keep in mind that you should place more than 1 plant. I would recommend placing at least 50, because while it still produces, you will need some plants to back it up, because if you just place 1, it will take a long time to be produced, right? Next, we will need to add our sand leaves. So the sand leaf setup is right below the forge right here. So do not place it in this planter. You'll need to place it in either of these 2. So if you're picking in the seed picking unit, you want to place the plant, or if you're painting in the planting unit, you'll want to place the seed. So you place this one, and then the next one is here. So you don't place it in the top one, you place it to the next, the 2 connected with each other. So in the seed picking unit or in the plant unit, right? And once you have these placed and once you have these connected, the system will start working. You'll see that some of the items will show up as cloggings. The reason for that is it takes much less time for this item to appear than, for example, the final item to appear. So if you just place the blueprint and quickly add all of the plants and then only add the HQ, you would see the reverse, essentially plants are being faster, right? Now to explain how the system works. So for the HQ itself, as you can see, we have 4 inputs of Originium. This is enough Originium to fully upkeep the 100% efficiency. Both of those sides of Originium are going into shredders, where they are feeding the Originium powder into the grinding units. Each of the grinding units also receives the sandleaf powder, and because each forge production requires 2 powder, we have that 3rd powder left over, which we can easily feed into the grinder to prevent any clogging there as well. So as you can see, this grinder is receiving some powder, and this grinder is receiving some powder. However, this one takes a bit long to travel because it passes through a lot of system. But yeah, as you can see, there's a shredder, and that powder is coming along to this grinder as well, right? From there, as you can see, we are essentially just purifying it into the final material. So we're going into the first refining unit, into the second refining unit, and then being fed into the final gearing unit right here. The same for the other side, refining, and then fed into the final gearing plant here, right? Now for the seed reproduction, right? So for the sand leaves, as you can see, we have two buildings connected which are feeding into each other, but for every connection like this, we have an extra seed which is being fed into the planter and then into the shredder, which is fed for XIRANITE production. The same on the other side. As you can see, these two are feeding into each other, but there is one extra one feeding into the planter, and those plants are getting shredded for XIRANITE production as well, right? And for the other plants, so we have a self-sustaining Jinko production. For these, because the recipe is reversed, you only actually need 2 plants in total, because in here, one plant makes 2 seeds, but with wooling items, 1 seed actually makes 2 plants. So this makes it a bit easier, because plant is the item that you need to shred, right? And as you can see, you can feed one into each other, and then you'll just have an extra plant which you can feed into the refining unit. Now, if you haven't used this recipe before, you may notice that this recipe is not even visible in the recipe book, right? Because this recipe only unlocks if you actually start producing, right? Because the only recipes you will see is for buck flower and for sand leaf to being fed into 1 carbon, but there's actually a hidden recipe which uses both Jinkao and Yazo plants from the wooling region and turns it into actually 2 carbon, which makes it much faster. So we're feeding those plants into the refining unit, and then the refining unit is pushing both carbon into the shredding units, which also multiplies the carbon powder needed for the grinder units, right? So as you can see, both shredders are feeding 2 into each grinder unit, and there's also 1 sand leaf powder going into each of them. And the same identical thing on the other side, just from the other side right here. So from the bottom, we're feeding the plant. This one is feeding carbon into these 2, and the shredders are feeding into the grinding unit. From here, we are essentially producing 2 XIRANITE every, I believe, 2 seconds, that is. So yeah, as you can see, everything is being fed into the final forge of the sky. So 1 here and 1 here. This one has decent placement because it's right next to the gearing unit, but for this one you will need to wrap the input around to the other side. I did it this way because there was just neat little space here for the gearing unit, so I felt might as well use it. And once you feed all of those items, as you can see, as soon as one of the items is finished producing, the next one starts immediately, which means that you are able to get a total of 6 XIRANITE components per second. As you can see here, 6 per minute. And of course, the final product is being fed to the protocol stash. You can also feed it into the HQ base right here. I just didn't want to push it even further downwards, because you might want to do something with the space, right? You might want to do some sort of a building, but if you don't plan on using the HQ for anything else for now, you can just simply connect it to here and it will work the same way, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it for now like this. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works. As you can see in the protocol stash, we will start receiving the components and they will be transferred to our HQ. So yeah, that's about it. This system does not have any sort of like leftover materials that you're left with. It uses all of them. The planters, especially the sandleaf planters, will eventually... Actually, no, I don't think they will clog because it uses all of the shredders, but for some systems where the shredder is not using all of them, it might eventually clog up. But since they're not connected to the storage system, it will not affect it at all. But yeah, that's how it works. Just another quick showcase just in case you want to copy it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, let's actually check the total size of this farm. It looks like it extends to here. So the total size is 38 wide by 32 high. So yeah, at the bottom you will still have plenty of space to do something with it, right? So yeah, now it's it, and yeah, peace.